going to probably do it unlisted until I figure it out, but yeah, recording tonight, and that's what's happening. Fantastic. My name is Paul Tranny. This is where I'm at in my stage in my, I don't know, design career is like a lot of skulls and flowers. It's weird, I know. I don't know what to tell you. That's just where I'm at. But been in the industry a while, a long while, like that long while. The MySpace, old school Space Jam. You guys remember some of this, like doing image maps on images? There's my website. I don't know what I was thinking. What is going on? To all the effects. I just got Photoshop. I'm putting all the effects on my name. It's ridiculous. Can't drop shadows and bevel. I was doing apparently virtuality back then. I don't know what that means either. It's ridiculous. But for some reason I still have a job. So again, it's like back in the day, the internet, hit. Before that was CD-ROM. You guys remember Director, Authorware? Yeah, Macromedia? Yeah, I feel you. I know, I see the gray hair, I know. Wow. So it goes, our careers go way back doing design, and really you just adapt from media to media. It's almost like, okay, doing things on CD-ROM, okay, the internet gets, invented and widespread. I'm going to push my graphics out to these screens that everybody's like on these desktops, and then we have mobile devices that hit. Like, okay, gotta kind of reformat my content because everybody has these devices. Some of these, like, you guys have a Razor? Anyone have a Razor? You are the cool kids, man. I didn't have one. I just thought those were so cool. I was like a BlackBerry guy. I was like a nerd. I had a BlackBerry. But anyways, it was just a repackaging, almost reformatting of that content on these different screens. Since everybody has these devices, it means that, we can turn our phone into a camera. Now our camera has a phone app, apparently. But everybody's creating content. That's kind of where we're at today for the past, say, 10 years. Just the just creation of content by everyone. And the biggest transition after that is recently with AI, right? So generative AI, you guys have used Gen AI tools like Midjourney. How dare you? How dare you? No, I'm just kidding, I'm just joking. Thank you, you should. A new technology hits, I was scared. I was like, what is this? Is this going to replace me? And then I'm like, okay. Calm down, talk myself off the ledge. I was like, okay, let's try to see if I can use this and what I can do with it. And then Sydney, who's tried out Firefly just by a show of hands as well, just kind of gauge the audience. Okay, cool, maybe 25%. So Adobe Firefly is our generative AI tool as well. So, thank you for that. Got some flames there. So cool. Firefly.adobe.com, you can go there now. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to show you a lot of slides. Let's jump right in here. Firefly is our generative AI technology. It'll do text-to-image generative fill. These are all the sort of applications of this Gen AI technology, right? So taking this data set of images and making this stuff. So I encourage you to peruse this. It's not only what's here now, but what's coming in the future. It's a good place to look. But really, it's mostly sort of known for, a text-to-image situation. So we can do cute, kitten, why not, profile. Let's do a cute kitty, why not? I'm in the market for some kittens, just so you know. And I'm going to do a little window shopping right now. So I type that in there, type in whatever you want. Just be short, as long as you want. Aw, right? Aw, wait, you're you're not real? Please be real. Please be real, kitty. I want to adopt you. I'm glad I could at least favorite you. That's what I'll do. But I encourage you to try anything. This is a pretty straightforward situation. You can get as creative with this as you want. You see some weird stuff. I'm just going to you can do like a Renaissance painting and make this look like it's something knit. You get obviously prompt hints here, which is really helpful. So just jump in, type in your favorite thing, see what the prompt is that you get. I'm going to try chiaroscuro. I don't even know how to spell it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like the dramatic lighting, like a Rembrandt painting. What did you say? Chiaroscuro. Can you come on? You're like, I feel ya. You're like, help this poor man. This is what I like, Firefly. Why do I have to have a notebook of all my phrases for prompting and all that good stuff? It's so much of it's right here, so we could jump in and peruse any one of these and see as many different versions of this kit in, and then how you said that so well, chiaroscuro, something. I probably butchered it again. I'm trying, people. Generate. So that's just an example. It's like, why do we hide it all this mystery? We give you all the things. This is what we do. We make tools for technology. These are all the easy buttons and things that you can press to get whatever you want. And then you have your dramatic kitty right there. It's author's, I feel like this is his author photo for his book of poems or whatever. So you have that. I can favorite that as well. I encourage you to look at that. I could just jump into sort of all these that I've favorited. So this is what I do. I favorited it so it tracks all my prompt, all the little switches and buttons, whether it's depth of field or anything else, it'll be saved right in here. Look at this version. And I did a clay version. Isn't that awesome? Just typed in, made of clay, clay park background, and then probably added that as a setting. I've been getting into dinosaurs. I don't know why. I've been like on this. This is in horrible puns. Here's Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's one. This is supposed to be my Burritosaurus. And then what about, I'll have you see if you could try to guess like this one. What would he be? He's supposed to be a Triceratops. And he's dressed like a policeman. You got it! Give him a prize! Hey! All right, we had fun with it. Go crazy, do it, create what you want. You can create even something simple like, oh, I need to sell in sort of product shots. I want to pitch it to a client. We're going to take these product photos of your product. This is what it should look like. So that's all I did here. Just another sort of photography example, if you will, of, you know, this VR headset, since that's all the rage with like the Vision Pro. But I'm going to do something unique with this. Sort of my take on this as an artist or designer, I was like, I want to make this look like old technology, because to be honest with you, we've been talking about VR for a long time. So I'm taking this texture, taking my image, or a sample, it's just a texture right here, but imagine if this is your sort of painting style. Taking that and applying it to whatever prompt you have. So we'll click apply. That button with that text says, hey man, don't steal other people's work. That's what it says. Make sure it's yours. And then create this. Look at that. That to that. Yeah, I'm trying to get you guys to clap. You don't have to. I just think it's awesome. I think it's super cool. I can load anything and make anything look like anything else. Like, this blows my mind. Just the creative capabilities is pretty awesome. So from there, I can take that, still favorite it. I can download it as well. When I download it, and I know it didn't pop up, but usually they say, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and add content credentials to this, because we want to tell the world that this was made with AI and it's not fake. That's a huge thing. So that's what just happens. I'm sorry that pop-up didn't come up, but this is content credentials. This is the Content Authenticity Initiative. Google just signed up for it today. That's what I want to see, man. Just have Facebook flag images. This is AI. This is it. Whatever. Do that for me. And I feel like we're leading the charge in this area. So let's just do this really fast. Let's just go to contentcredentials.org/verify. We could jump out to that image that I've just downloaded, like any one of these, drop it in here, and it's going to say, hey, this is made with Firefly. Just, be transparent with where it came from and all that. That's all I ask. And so let's imagine, for me as an artist, I want to take this image and start to use it in a collage or something. So I'm going to show you this really fast. I don't have time to demo it, but here's a piece that I was working on. There's the VR glasses. And I just started making all these technologies, like everything is going to be outdated at some point and end up in, turned to stone. But this is my design using that, and Content Credentials says that Paul made this. So I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Oh, let me show you this. I think this is just so important. So I've exported this out and I've attached Content Credentials to it. I'm going to skip that step. It's an export. It's boring. What's interesting is coming in here doing a screenshot. What if somebody took your work? What if you posted it to Instagram and they took a screenshot? I just took a screenshot of that work right there, and now it's on my desktop. They could take it, they could try to like flip it and manipulate it, because I've flipped it in different things. Here it is, it's loaded in, and let's look and see if the person really made this, or if they just stole it from someone else. So I'm searching for possible matches. It'll go out, sort of try to see if anybody has created anything like it or similar, and there it is. Oh look, December 3rd. If I select it, whoa, look at that. I've selected it. It was posted on December 3rd by Paul, and here's all the layers. Zip. Look at all that layers. It's all in the file. Super cool. I could do this compare mode. So it's like you could even see where I started and where it ended up if I go back to like earlier versions. It's just this, sort of peeling back the layers. And more importantly, when you save something with content credentials, that all is on the blockchain, right? So you can't delete it. That's in the cloud, right? Even when you created a Firefly image, that's in the cloud. You cannot delete that stuff, and that's huge because we can reference back to sort of the original image that I made. So content credentials, huge. Adobe Firefly, enabling me to create awesome work, which I think is really cool. All right, so that's Firefly. It is free for you to use. I think this is exciting. Safe for commercial use, to be clear, just bulleted the things. Safe for commercial use. So safe for commercial use. In order to really do that, you need to be able to tell where the huge data set of images came from to make the image. So we'd say, hey, our stuff came from Adobe Stock, open, basically anything that's sort of open source and available in public domain. And we also have the rights to use it by people who upload, say, hey, yeah, you can use this in our data set, and also we'll compensate you. So if you upload it to Adobe Stock, a ton of kittens, and we use those kittens, then you get paid money because it compensated to make that image. So I think we're doing our part, something honestly we don't have to do, but we're just trying to keep things very, very transparent is the goal. And I mean, I'm in a room with photographers too as well, right? This is huge, compensating you for what you do. So, content authenticity initiative is huge with Firefly, but also this technology trickles down into like all of the apps that we like know and love. And I'm going to take a look at some of those, starting with Illustrator. So let's jump into Illustrator, because it's not just about say text to image, but there's more you can do. Here I'm in Illustrator. Love Illustrator. Any Illustrator fans? Any green dot people out there? Green dots. Maybe yellow dots? Awesome. So here I am creating this campaign for this outerwear company. They're like, hey, let's do an anywhere you go campaign. I'm like, okay, I got to brainstorm ideas and think of some things. I can start creating things, but I really just want to brainstorm anyways. Check this out. I want to show you this. In Illustrator's text to vector graphic beta. So right in here, I can say, hey, you know what? Let's make something. What I want to do is, sorry for the moving around, is create let's do two hikers. Back to camera, because I want to like them looking out onto like a valley or something. So you type in what you want, just like you did in the browser. This is text to vector. The idea is you'll get a vector version. That's essentially what's happening now using that backend technology. This could change from day to day too. So what you get today might be a little bit different, hopefully a little bit better tomorrow. Boom, there they are. Oh, look at that. Oh, Millennium is vector. Yeah, it's vector. Bingo, bingo. Come on, look at that. Yeah, look at all this work I didn't have to do. It's vector. I mean, nobody has to know I didn't do it. I have the software. I should be allowed to say that I did it. Somebody had to type something in there. So there we are, 3 different versions. You pick the one you want. You modify it the way you want. There they are. So it kind of just created some, dare I say, like some just generic people. I can say, hey, make it flat graphics style, isometric, anything like that. But really, I want to like kind of sample my own graphics, and that's what I think is key. So I could jump in here. Let's even draw out some sort of triangle or something. In fact, I feel like changing the color a little bit. This is where I'm going to spend the next 45 minutes. Just working on that one color that's going to get replaced anyways. Why? I don't know, Mom. I'm an artist. You don't understand me. Saurus. I'm going to create a Brontosaurus. There we go. Boom. Because I was like, anywhere. It'd be cool if you do this time machine thing. It's like, you're in like the Jurassic period, which is like, seems like a great idea. So I either have to execute it fast or convince myself it's a horrible idea. And I'd like to just make something or sort of brainstorm something quickly, and there we go. Oh, one thing I didn't do. This is what I did not do. So I just created one. Let's twirl this down. Bingo. Match. So look at how it looks. It looks orange. Let's do the exact same thing. Match active artboard style, or even pick from something specific, because now I'm going to make it the same as that tent. So that's what I've sampled. The tent is green. It's very angular. I just make it match my stuff. That's the goal. So it's going to go through. Same process. Saves it over here. See them right there? Brontosaurus. Yep. Brontosaurus. Cool, with an extra limb. Hey, you don't know. Maybe it had an extra limb. And there it is. There we are. So it's still all very much vector, as you could imagine. I'll just do a quick, I don't know if you guys are familiar, like pupper warp. Could be just like, rah, rah, whatever. I'm just bending vectors, just showing that it's a vector. And it matches the tent, and totally matches my style. You could take that to another degree. I don't really have a lot of time, but I can change this to scene, and we can knock out a whole scene based on maybe everything on my artboard. Valley. Let's just do something simple like valley. And this is what I would typically do. I'd probably grab the elements I want to be on here. Let's just grab this and this. X. You know, just building out this scene ultimately. A couple elements, match active artboard style, generate. I just said valley. I don't even know what I'm going to get, but you know, good luck, AI. I don't have to come up with the answer. It's you. Good luck with that, buddy. One word, do your thing. And I changed that to scene. Also, what's under here that I don't have time to show, there's also pattern. It does icon. It's going to be very simple, but let's at least see. There's a valley. Not quite. Why did it do that? Because I still had the tent selected, but we could see right in here, this is a valley I generated earlier. And what did I generate specifically? Everything that you generated in the past is right down here, and it keeps the prompt with it. So you did a sunny valley with a stream and mountains, and that's what you get. So again, super cool. Jump in there, create my scene, sell it into the client. So creating things fast, in my style, make it quick. You know, maybe the client picks it, whatever, just gives me more options. Let's move on from there, because this needs some type. We need to do this sort of anywhere type. So let's go into our type situation. So here we are. Right here. Here's our, type. Keep forgetting to select it. There we go. So I have anywhere you go, and I would really like to take some of this content, maybe figure out what font this is. But if you can see, this is actually just all the vector lines. It's no longer a font. You ever done that? Has past you kind of screwed over today you by outlining the font like a year ago? So let's do that. These are all obviously just not fonts. They're all outlines. We can select what we want. I can select all of these. But more importantly, I want to show you retype. So enter, you just have the selection, and then you hit enter. So it's like figure out what font this is, please, if there's even a font there, right? Or what sort of type is there. So I could select really a phrase that has multiple text elements in here, or just one. This one just has one, but you can see that it finds it. It says, oh, hey, I think this is Genti Demo Regular. It's doing that based on everything on your desktop as well as everything in Adobe Fonts. So all those 20,000 fonts are in there, and then you scroll through and like, oh, I like that font, but oh, it's serving up some other cool ones that I can potentially use. But this is a cool thing, like, what is this apply button? Let's click apply. And what does it say? Converted to live text? Let's take a look. It says exit. Let's double click about 15, 20 times, 30 times. There we are. Outsidery, look at that. Side, yay! This is radio, yay! Remember, I'm doing a recording, yay! Yeah, thank you. But isn't that amazing? You outlined text. You want to know what that font is, and you want it to be live text. It's now live text. Try this at home if you don't believe me. It is in beta. But really back to my original scenario, I just really just wanted to take it and apply it to my text. Bingo, and there it is, and I can start to use it. So retype, you designers know, you feel my pain, you outlined something because you needed to do it. We now have access to those fonts, which is awesome, at least something close to it. So there we go, we have our font. I could start building out some badges. Here's some, let's get to it. Right over here, some badges, some other things that I've built. And this is a case where like, I would really like to experiment with color. So that's what I want to do here. It's like everything's gray, and rather than selecting and changing each individual element to a color, to honestly the same palette I've always been using, because we all have been there, you get in a little bit of a rut, or you can do something called generative recolor. I'm saying, hey, you know what? Use this AI technology, Firefly, to do, I don't know, retro. Let's do something retro camping outside, because I don't really know what other types of camping there is, but let's throw it in there anyways. Retro camping outside. Typing in what I want. I have those selected. It gives me these 4 options for everything that I have selected. So I can select, ooh. I mean, maybe it's retro, maybe it isn't, but look at all the work that I didn't have to do. Look at that. I didn't have to do, again, nobody has to know, and I have this set up for me. Look at just the color harmony. You feel me, designers? You feel the color harmony, even though it's not there? Thank you so much. So good. Right there, I can pick the one we want, kind of roll with it. So now I have my designs, I have my fonts, and I'm thinking, oh, I made these cool badges. I'd really like to sell this into the client as well. So I already did the poster and some of the social assets. I'm like, ooh, we should get them to let us make some apparel. So that brings me to mock-up. Here we have mock-up. This is in Illustrator. It's in beta. Select your graphic, select mock-up. Okay. And look, as I select mock-up, it already gives me that logo on all these images. Yeah. But what did I want? I wanted apparel. So let's go over here. Let's go to apparel. Bingo. Yeah, it's on the hat. It's on the shirt. It's on the stuff. Oh, yeah, I want to try this. I know, right? So I just selected the hat. I could have imported my own image and selected my graphic and my image, and it will mash it onto whatever that image is. But here I just said, hey, let me try out the hat. Here's the hat. Oh, thank you very much. My graphic that I can move around. Whoa, whoa, right? Thank you. Appreciate that. Isn't that awesome? And this is all editable. I can double click and it will be flat again. I can tweak the text or anything. I probably misspelled something, you know how it goes. But, just case in point, we could jump in and change that to, color dodge or whatever. But just kind of show you can still make changes to it because, again, it's non-destructive. So I love it. Mock-up is absolutely awesome. Let me show you with something else. You guys, can I show you something that I'm really excited about? And thank you. Good. You're like, sure. You have your laptop right in front of you. Go right ahead. Because what does that beg? It's like, oh, that looks cool, but that was not knit. So it didn't look like it was embroidered. And that's where you go watch a 20-minute YouTube video that only gets you so far. Or I want to introduce you to this. This is why I'm working in the Photoshop beta. This is in the public beta, and I just find this invaluable. This I just pasted in from Illustrator, so I'm in Photoshop. And what we're working on now is something called parametric filters. I'm going to select parametric filters. It's a number of filters that anyone can make that's smart enough. But it's really the people who make materials for 3D objects. Like, oh, you're making all these materials. What if instead of applying it to a 3D object, you apply it to a 2D object? So we're letting people write their own plugins. And the one I like right here is this embroidery one that a guy's working on internally. So I've selected embroidery. Look at how ridiculous. And they wrote in all these parameters and properties that I can play with. So maybe we want more imperfections. Let's rough it up a little bit. You'll see it should get a little bit rougher as I adjust that slider. See? Tweak this all day long. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. That's bonus material, free of charge. Parametric filters. We'll talk soon about embroidery. So that's freaking amazing, I think. It doesn't save as an array. It's going to be a flat file and just a PSD. So yeah, you'd probably have to have the plugin on another Photoshop to be able to open it. Would be the situation, but you just output the JPEG. So that's what we have. We're able to sell in, apparel because we were able to just like make it look really good, and we kind of end up with probably a whole brand kit is the goal. You have your colors, your fonts, all this stuff. You're like, okay, cool. This is all the stuff I do. This is what I end up making typically is a whole kit. But let me take it to the next level because maybe the client comes back to you and says, you know what? I think it'd be awesome if you could start making social assets for us. You did such a great job with this campaign. We need to do this every single week. Do you do that in Illustrator every single week? Sure you can. Love Illustrator, love Photoshop. Or is there an easier way to do that? I would say yes, and that's why I'm opening up Adobe Express. So who's used at least dabbled with Adobe Express? We'll just be kind of curious, which is a good handful of people. That's awesome. So Adobe Express allows you to create banners, flyers, videos, menus, anything you want, what you said no to, that guy who just started a band and needs a flyer, I would knock that out in here. You don't design, hey, there's a template right here. You use that. But also what gets me excited is taking something like an Illustrator file and bringing that in. So this is whether it's Illustrator or Photoshop, you bring in your content. This is an Illustrator file. Let me open it up so you can see it. Here it is. Pretty straightforward, just some text that I can then edit and all that stuff. But I work in Photoshop, I'll work in Illustrator, I'll save the file. I'll be mindful of the layers because I'm going to have control over the layers. And then bring it into Express to really take things to like a whole nother level. It could also be a PDF as well. So that's what's happening now. It's taking that file, it's going to convert it. It does kind of depend on your internet speed. Oh, thank you for the clapping. All right, this guy give this man some free swag. So all right, opening that up, I was just showing you in Illustrator so you can see what it looks like. Sure enough, in Express, here it is. Everything comes in like as expected. Boom, boom, all that stuff. You see my layers off to the side. And why is it in here? Well, because I really want to do more with it. Like this is going to be a social media asset or just like a social asset. I can take this little vehicle right here and oh look, animation, something that, I'm sorry, I love Illustrator, but just can't do it. But we can come in and do a looping animation, a little yo-yo action. So let's try it. We'll go either way, but you get the idea. Joop, 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 joop. Easy, piece of cake. We can go with more of this. Like I grab this this burst in the background. We'll make that spin. It's easy, just these little buttons. Oh, click spin, and now it's spinning. Right, let's draw in the audience with this motion. So we're gonna get more eyeballs when it's a video, and essentially I'm creating a video. But how easy is this? I could start grouping all this content together. I'm not going to grab everything, but just for the sake of time, we group it together, go into in, let's have it grow in, zoop, just like that. So I grouped everything together, and now we have this little animation inside of that group. So shrug, whatever you want to do. I love those sort of nested animations. But I also love that I could just do this in 2 seconds, because you thought about like, oh, that'd be cool if I could animate that. And you're like, but then you're like, oh, I got to learn After Effects. Or I got to open this, and you just talk yourself out of it. You're like, that was a dumb idea. I'm not going to do it. I love After Effects. You just don't need it when you want these quick little things. So here's something that, after clicking more of those buttons, it just came to light. This is your design coming to light is what we want. Super easy, super smooth. But since this is a video, it means I can add video content. So we can jump in here and search for clouds. Let's put some clouds in the background. Let's grab this. Let's drop it in. Right there, we can even, I'll just replace the background like that. Boom. There it is, and now we have clouds in the background. Oh, you know what that is? I dropped it onto the spinning thing, now it's spinning. I did that totally on purpose. And I'm not going to fix it. It's fine, really. It's easy to, do this stuff. So there that is. More importantly, we could jump in. We have access to all this content as if it's an image. Like just drop it in, place it where you want, replace other things. Hiking, we want some hikers in here. So I think it would be cool to have some hikers that are maybe on this second scene. So I'm taking this clip, dropping in right here. So it's going to go, say, from here. We can throw a little transition in there if we want. But now we go from that scene into this scene as well. Trim that up. You feel empowered, like, You're learning some video. You're like, okay, I'm gonna add that to my resume now. Video editor. So, hey, you do you. Good luck. You might be digging yourself a hole, but good luck. But check this out. I've added stuff from Adobe stock, sort of a zillion images, a zillion videos, and your stuff. So this is huge as well. The stuff that I showed you in Illustrator, it's now in my library off to the side. Sorry to click around so much, but it's in this Creative Cloud library. All this stuff ends up in here. Great for me to reuse in Photoshop and everywhere else, but more importantly, this library is also in Express for me to grab and bring into my projects. This is also linked, so if I update this logo when it gets dropped in, it'll update as well. So this is, again, it's looking pretty good. It's all sort of like on brand. I've designed everything sort of week to week. Maybe I want to have a different clip here so they know it's a different asset. I don't want to have to do that busy work. This is the cool part. Two things. One, right over here, you made a library not only for you, you can invite others to this library. So if they are a Creative Cloud member, they'll have access to this library by clicking that button. And also, number two, right up here, make a template. So turning this into a template for every week, you get the idea, saving it back to that same library, and then it will appear right down here in your library as soon as it saves, right down here. So I knew I did that real fast. I don't have a lot of time, but you created all the brand assets. You invited somebody else to that brand library. They now have the template to mess it up from week to week. You could lock elements down as well. You're like, okay, here it goes. It's going to run amok. But, all right, so that's Express. We have this done. Let's jump over here. This is actually like, let's just refresh this because I just connected. But we have our final version right here. Again, cleaned up version, looks good. This is the version that I've shared as well. So I've shared this, and now what I'd like to do is, I've shared the template, but also you can publish this. So from here, we can go ahead and take this asset that I built in Express and schedule it. Sorry about that. Let's hit share. Let's go down here and schedule post. Click. And we'll wait for it to load in. I'll click right here, and we can see all those platforms. So I made my assets. Here's everywhere where I can share it. Facebook, Instagram, under whatever account that I have connected. I'm going to be mindful of the size and all that stuff. And then I'll be able to publish it out. You don't need to see this upload, because I did mention size. Interesting. You're probably thinking that too. You're like, oh, it could be a reel or a post, and those might be two different sizes. So let's go into resize for this and check. I don't know, we'll go down to social media. Oh, you want Instagram, you want TikTok, you want Facebook, anything? Oh, well, they didn't ask for it today, they're going to ask for it tomorrow, right? We'll hit duplicate and resize. Go through. Remember, there's a video in there, so we got to give it a second. But you can see it load in and give it a second too, again, depending on your internet connection. Like a little gap there. You have to do some work. Yeah, sorry. You have to do a little bit of work. It's not perfect. It's 80-90% there. And you just created all these? Nobody has to know about this, and I hope no bosses are in here, because this is just for us. We have that done. We publish it out. I didn't go that far, but basically when I went in here to schedule it, and I have the ability to schedule this right down here as well. Pick the date, pick the time. When you do that, you'll get the scheduler. There's a scheduler. I see your mouth drop. Okay. Look at that. Like, I scheduled stuff today that went out. And let's take a look at it. Like this right here. This wasn't even made in Express. I just used Express for the scheduler alone to schedule it to all the various social media platforms. So you can use Express for the scheduler alone to knock out anything you want while you're sleeping. On weekends when you're partying, it's publishing out all this content. Cool, right? Cool? All right. I got to hurry up because I got to cover Photoshop. and just kind of reference back to the fact that I would put all my stuff in my library. This stuff is all linked, so these can all be Photoshop files, which is kind of my segue into Photoshop. So we'll jump in here. We can take a look at what we do in Photoshop. And this is if you're, hopefully, if you're a designer, you've probably already seen this. And I think it's fun because we're now in a public setting that we can actually applaud how amazing this is. And I'm talking about generative fill. So I've done this selection. I like the scene. It needs something more, kind of boring. She just wants to hang out. Let's give her a cup of coffee. You type in what you want, just like you did in Firefly in the browser, but this time, hopefully it'll recognize the shadow, the angle, right? Is it going to give it a shadow? I didn't give it, oh, hold on. It's still there. Hold on, I had that layer turned on. There it is. It generated this. Do you guys believe me? All right, let's do it again then. You guys oh, I didn't see it come live. Let's do this. Let's do another one. Let's do a glass of whiskey. Why not? Hey, day turns into night. I don't know, maybe it's your daytime routine. It's generating whatever you type in there based on your selection and that image. Boom, there it is, okay? Let's take a look at it. It's not perfect, can we agree? It's okay, let's be honest. The coffee cup is better, thank you. Because look, the coffee cup did a shadow and everything. I know how hard transparency is, that's why I like this glass version. It's that is so hard to kind of get working. So let's kind of take a look, just to save us time. We have different versions we can look at, but I've already done this. So here's a different coffee cup. There I decided she was getting hungry. Let's give her a sandwich. I eliminated the backpack. I gave her some chips. Oh, I gave her a beer. I gave her a cocktail. Hey, she's hanging out all day. She's getting hungry again. She'll have a hot dog. And then maybe some cookies. And a slice. You know what would be good right now? And this was all in her backpack. Ice cream? Character ice cream to the... what else we got? Let's take a look. Oh yeah, and then she maybe she ran out of things in her backpack, so she had a food truck come. So there's the food truck. It generated the shadow and everything. So I'm just going to turn on all these other things. Other animals start showing up. Sea turtle, some duck. I don't know, I guess there's a shark there. I don't know why, just because we can. A bear shows up. That cat from earlier. Hey, you remember me? Hey, can I get some of that ice cream? And then a fisherman. You guys have played with it. You probably love it. We can go on and on. You can change your clothes. This is what I did here. Let's make myself look a little bit more fancy, right? You have a party to go to, and or at least you don't have a fine suit. This is a legit reason. Type in suit. So black tie suit doesn't even make sense as a sentence, but there it is. Black tie. Oh, let's make me look like a doctor. It's on my Tinder profile. I'm a doctor. Or a chef, whatever you're into. No, I'm kidding. But look at that. Tattoo artist. Weird, but accurate. You want to be fancy? You be fancy. Right? You want to see if I could rock some hot pink? Heck yeah, I could rock some hot pink. Or some gold. I was feeling myself that night, and I was apparently feeling cold, too. All right, enough of that. Let's move on. I digress. Sorry, I'm going to just do this one more thing and we'll get out of here and continue the night. But here's a situation where I would like to extend this. So I've selected the crop tool. So I'm just going to extend this out. So the crop tool is awesome because I want to be able to take any image and do a generative expand. So rather than me having to stretch out that ceiling or whatever, and this is not a complex scene. I could have typed in chandelier, would have given me a chandelier as the idea, but I'm I want this to be sort of a vertical format for social media. And then it gives me, apparently I have nice vaulted ceilings at home. But this is more like what it looks like. So it fills that in because what happened is I needed something for social. And, by the way, just so you're aware, this is actually like a video too.
You're almost a step ahead of me.
See, stretch that out. We went from, pretty cool. Export out that video. It's now the intro. I could add other. We could do a clap, sure. That's enough of all of this. So there's lots of things that I didn't cover because I think the next person coming up, this is me. You'll see all that stuff kind of coming. You'll see videos and all that stuff. So that's why I'm showing you this social platform.